uncle sleepwalking again. He tried to wake him, but the younger uncle stopped him, warning it was dangerous. Despite his age, the older uncle was still strong and agile. He was searching for a woman named Jasmine in his dreams. With the mood set, the younger uncle continued the story. That began in the summer of 1914. They were traveling in Europe, but were drugged and kidnapped. Waking up on a warship headed for North Africa, they were forced into the French army, and fought many hard battles in North Africa. By luck, they survived the war. Afterward, the younger uncle stayed in Africa, exploring and writing, while the older uncle remained in the military, fighting local warlords. Just as the story reached a climax, the older uncle woke up, and sharply sent them back to bed. Though the story was unfinished, Walt believed the woman in the photo was Jasmine. Guided by Walt, the brothers started buying things that interested them, including a batch of vegetable seeds, so they could enjoy homegrown produce. But not all salesmen were honest. When the seeds sprouted, they realized they'd all been sold corn seeds, just in different packages. Later, the brothers even bought a lion. Walt named her Jasmine, a clear hint. The older uncle was furious.
What'd you just say?
But forgot about it by the next day, enthusiastically taking them to buy feed. He single-handedly loaded the entire truck with heavy sacks, then collapsed, exhausted. Bored in the hospital hallway, the younger uncle resumed the story. During one of the older uncle's many missions, he rescued a princess's handmaid. The handmaid told the princess of his bravery. No one could resist the charm of a knight in shining armor. One day, while the older uncle was riding along the beach, a black horse raced alongside him. Known as the best rider in North Africa, he couldn't allow anyone to beat him. The silent race ended with both riders colliding. The older uncle sprang up, ready to fight, but was stunned. The rider was Princess Jasmine herself. Though it seemed like a fairy tale, they fell in love at first sight. However, a neighboring chieftain had already arranged to marry Jasmine. To prevent her escape, he imprisoned her in his country. Upon hearing this, the older uncle launched a rescue, defeated 20 guards, and saved the princess at the last moment. They lived happily together after that.
But wait, if they lived happily ever after, then they got married and she'd be here right now with us, right?
The older uncle, now old and stubborn, still believed he was young and strong, quite different from the man in the story. Walt began to doubt its truth. But one day at mealtime, 4 troublemakers showed up. The older uncle grabbed one by the throat and said,
Hug McCain. I fought in 2 world wars and countless smaller ones on 3 continents. I led thousands of men into battle with everything from horses and swords to artillery and tanks. I've won and lost a dozen fortunes, killed many men.
Walt was amazed. The troublemakers pulled weapons, but even 4 against 1, they were no match for the older uncle. Perhaps the story wasn't an exaggeration. Maybe he really could defeat 20 men in his youth. The older uncle confiscated their car and drove home, only to find the relatives waiting, claiming the lion was going to eat someone. Walt realized he'd forgotten to feed Jasmine. The cage was empty. The relatives' kids had vandalized it. Freeing Jasmine, everyone grabbed shotguns for a hunt, but it ended safely. Jasmine didn't attack Walt. Instead, she lay down meekly and nuzzled him. Everyone relaxed, except the relatives, who insisted they wouldn't visit again unless the lion was gone. Hearing this, the uncles immediately granted Jasmine permanent residency. The relatives